Assalamualaikum and good days everyone. Welcome to our forum for the event Visual Talent Talk Better 2022 which held by Faculty of Business as Management University Teknologi Mara, Kampus Puncak Alam. Thank you all for joining us for an exciting discussion about leverage internet mobility, which is one of the current issues on requirement and selection in Malaysia. My name is Nur Anis Hadijah binti Muhammad Sayuti and I will be the moderator and one of the panel for this wonderful forum. We have another talented panel that come here today to talk about our topic. Let me introduce them. Firstly, Fatin Eliza binti Ahmad D. Zulkifli. Secondly, Intan Najihah binti Abdul Rahim. Thirdly, Emalin binti Ibnu Rajam. Fourthly, Nur Anissa binti Azman. And our last panelist, Nisha Suhana binti Shaharin. For your information, all of us are a part-time student in Faculty of Business and Management in the 4th semester. Without wasting time, we will start the discussion with me as the first panelist that will talk about introduction of our topic. For me, the topic is very interesting for every employee's knowledge, including myself. What is leverage internet mobility? First of all, leverage internet mobility is the movement of the employee within the company. Basically means movement of talent between roles and either vertically or laterally. For example, vertically is the movement position from assistant manager to manager, while laterally is a movement employee from one role to another role within the same level of seniority. Next, every company, instead of using external hiring such as hire a new employees to fill open roles with candidate outside for the company, they tend to use internal mobility to fill up the position that was empty. But research said nowadays companies tend to switch the role of the employees based from their talents to improve their skills to develop a new one and remain engaged with their work and company. That's all for me. Without further ado, I will let the second panelist, which is Ms. Fatin Eliza, to give her opinion regarding the recruitment and selection issue for our topic.
Right, thank you, Ms. Anis Khadijah, for your brief explanation about the leverage internet mobility just now. And then I would like to go to our issue. And first is non-technological barrier, which is concept of regulation or policies that limit the internet mobility. For example, the employee must be in a role for a certain amount of time before moving to another internal or opportunity. Next, administrative procedure that hide the hiring of the internal talent. For example, hiring manager often have to go through more steps in moving internal talent than they do in hiring external talent. Next is ineffective and limited selection criteria. For example, manager include criteria that are too specific or not relevant to success in the role and end up limiting the internal talent pool. Next is accumulating talent. For example, a manager prevent or discourage employee from pursuing internet opportunity. And then next is limiting recruiter to find just outside talent when filling position or opening. Limited perspective or career advancement. For example, manager and employee focus upward progression or exclusively look for opportunity in one natural function or business area. Next one, which is lack of understanding of future skill required, which is more than 1 in 4 adults, according to a study by the OECD, said that their present skill sets don't match with the requirement needed to perform their employment. Too many workers, however, have difficulty locating and gaining access to quality professional development opportunity that will keep them employable in the near future. My third issue is throughout the employment life cycle itself, there is a lack of meaningful learning and growth, which is company don't provide reskilling and upskilling possibility. Business will struggle to retain their top employee and have little of luring in talent with future proven ability. And last but not least, the issue is lack of management support for internal mobility. The most intriguing and perplexing handle is probably manager unwillingness to encourage internal mobility. Some people see this is their team member not being allowed to participate in other team duties. Other consistency prefer to search outside the company rather than within when there are position to fill. That's all for the issue. Some that I can, my opinion, and I brief today.
Thank you, Ms. Patin Eliza, for sharing your opinion regarding the rising issue for our topic today. Then we will proceed with Ms. Intan Najiha. Would you like to share any thoughts about any rising issue about our topic so that the audience can become more clear of our discussion?
Alright, Assalamualaikum. Hi, thank you, moderator Nur Anis Khadijah, for this opportunity. Based on my opinion, there is a few issues for leverage internal mobility in an organization for me to share, such as manager who talent hard. A solid strategy for internal mobility is built on good management, but regrettably, not all business operate this way. When managers learn that team members want to advance their skill or apply for a new position, they frequently try to rescue their own team by blocking the move. They are responsible for achieving their own performance goal and fear losing top performers, which lead to a phenomenon known as a talent hoarding. However, when a boss restricts internal mobility, it encourages employees to become fearful and stagnant or to look elsewhere. Next, lack of transparency. As we've seen, individuals are frequently unwilling to pursue other opportunities when within a company out of fear. In order for your internal mobility strategies to succeed, the business must be open and honest about this at every level. Candidate must have confidence that applying for a different roles won't hurt relation with their existing manager or teams. Managers must also have faith in their abilities to facilitate this change, and to get existed, they need a talent transition. Third, we have traditional organization structure. Top-down hierarchies and pyramidal organizational structure characterize traditional business. Internal mobility arrangement must allow individuals to freely move between departments and projects to use interest and skill outside their current responsibilities and enhance their skill set. Pyramidal construction resemble machine. The company's efficiency depends on the machine inflexible, hard to move parts which hinder internal mobility. An organism fosters internal movement, establishing a flexible, agile organization that uses resources judiciously and when needed, such as hiring expertise for one project so they may readily shift to other projects or division. Board support is needed to restructure the organization for internal mobility. And lastly, shifted workplace demographic. Gen Z and millennials are currently two largest age group in the workforce. On average, these individuals work for business for substantially shorter length of time than their more senior co-workers. The top concern for this generation are growth prospect or the lack thereof. Opportunities for internal mobility are consequently crucial when they're trying to keep these employees on the long term. So the main message from each issue is that employees may not necessarily desire to quit the company. However, if the business is not aggressively promoting internal mobility and progress, they can feel as though they have no choice but to quit. That's it from my point of view. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Intan Najiha. That was a great point to be said. Now we move to Ms. Elmalin. Let's hear from her about any strategies for improving the issue that both Ms. Intan Najiha and Ms. Patin Eliza. Let's hear it.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. A very good day to everyone and to moderator. Thank you for inviting me as one of panelists today for discuss about internal mobility. As I heard, this is a hot issue in recruitment since nowadays some of organizations have faced some condition that they must using this alternative in recruitment for given more an advantage to their employees in the same time will be positive into the organization. There are strategies needed for improving the issue. First thing first is the organization should define the formal internal mobility program, which is the organization should focus more on creating a talent acquisition task force, where this team will make the head of department understand well in the good of practicing internal mobility, where this force is familiar with the company needed of what skills and knowledge for the organizations. Second strategy is based on organizational leadership. For an organization to have internal mobility, the leader, like a manager, should know how to give a hand, also cooperate and appreciate their workers. We create a system of job rotation, do a mentorship which encourage them to share knowledge. Also, the leader must sharing new things with other team members and create a culture for enhance the communication with each other to always involve the team to pursue the innovation. In this way, the employee will see a new passion to explore more, which may benefit both the employee and the organization to achieve the organization goal. That's all from me for my strategy.
Thank you, Miss Emmeline. Now it is getting more interesting. Miss Anissa, do you have any additional opinion regarding the strategy for our issues?
Thank you, our moderator, for this opportunity. Have a nice day, everyone. Allow me to add the third and fourth point about the strategies to improving the issue. The third point of internal mobility strategy and best practice that company can use is make learning and development a priority. Learning and development is the mean by which employees get to the stage where they can move internally. To boost the frequency of internal move, therefore, the company should strive to create and nurture a culture of continuous learning at their organizing. That means providing the right learning and development tools and content, encourage and reward employees for professional development and upskilling, communicated the value of learning and development. Learning and development is one of the most effective ways to ensure that your organization maintain a forward trajectory in terms of skill and innovation, and will help to boost long-term retention amongst your best employees. Next, we move forward to the last point, which is use the right technology as one of the strategy and best practice for internal mobility. Company needs to leverage the right tools to facilitate internal mobility at scale. Ideally, the company should have technology stack that allow to create an internal job board, collect and analyze internal applicants, assess and track internal candidates based on skill and performance, integrate with and learning and development platforms to offer ongoing training and upskilling. According to Josh Bersin, CEO of the Josh Bersin Co., the move toward what might more accurately be described as work technology is decidedly focused on an employee. Previously, HR technology was a system of record, which is a place to store employees' data and conduct crucial back-end HR transactions like payroll and benefit processing. By then, vendor began building employee-facing interface software, which is what has become a new employee's experience layer on top of the system. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Anissa. It is a very heating discussion. We can see why our topic become one of the rising topic because there are so many issues about it. Last but not least, let's hear the conclusion from our last panelist, Miss Nisha.
Thank you to our moderator, Ms. Anis Khadija. In our discussion, we have highlighted some issues and strategies. According to our discussion, we can conclude that internal mobility influences the organizational and individual accomplishment. As indicated, employees were given an opportunity to find their future job, project, or mentor within the company, which maximize and unlock their ability to achieve the goal. Internal mobility in recruitment and selection must be closely related to the state of fill the position with the most qualified personnel. Besides, we found that the leverage mobility has issues to be aware by the organization, and the program can turn to the failure if the organization do not have a good strategies. As stated by Ms. Eliza, we can find that non-technological barriers are one of the issues in leveraging the internal mobility. Employing top personnel enable businesses to develop culture, foster innovation, boost output, and raise shareholder value. Then, throughout the discussion by our panel, we are able to find the strategy to overcome the issue. From the thought of our panel regarding the strategies to improve the issue, the organization should put more effort in forming a task force for talent acquisition that is familiar with the brand of the company and aware of the knowledge and abilities required by the organization. It will maximize the success of internal mobility program. Lastly, we can conclude that issue in leverage internal mobility can be overcome with a positive strategy. The implementation will turn out positive if the organization takes very good strategies to overcome their problems and weakness in internal mobility. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Anisha, for your thoughts. It was a great pleasure. Also, thank you again for all the panelists. Finally, we have to come to the end of our forum where we have shared a lot of knowledge, which we don't even know or thought before. Well, from all our panelists shared just now, internal mobility will become bad because of the lack of the company. Their reminder for the employers out there, please mind employees' mental health so that everyone can be happy and comfortable to working. That's all for today. I will end our forum discussion with many thanks to all the audience. Thank you and Assalamualaikum.